Good morning. Welcome to Brewtiful Morning this October the 7th. Thank you all for joining us. Jackson, stay in a picture here. You got to see you. Thank you for joining us again. As you can look around, we may have a theme today. I'm not sure, but I see something's going on. In fact, it's a good day. Jackson, tell them one of your favorite places to go to.
Police department.
Don't you say that.
Oh, Jackson, starting off the show with a bang. I hear you, buddy. Did you just say the police department?
It is my job.
That's it. He said that was his joke for the day. But thank you for all for joining us. Thank for Doug and Magnolia for getting us online. Thanks for all our guests being with us today. Special month, and we want to recognize some very special people. Do you have anything you want to say? Stay in a picture.
I'm not going to stay in the picture.
I can't hear you.
I'm not going to stay in the picture if I'm going to say something.
Okay, he said he's going to save up for next time, I guess.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, you got somebody you want to say hello to special this morning, don't you?
Not her, but another person at my class.
Okay, he wants to say hello to all the students in his class, but we're going to leave here for a preschool, but hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope you have a great day. And again, thanks for these special people being with us this morning. And we got a special month going on, and we want to thank them for what they do in our community. Doug, Magnolia, I'll turn it over to you and let you go on our way.
All right. Good luck getting Jackson riled up, and just remind him that while the police department might be fun, the best place to visit in Rutherfordton is the fire department, especially this month. Right, Jackson?
Yeah.
And he's got he's got his red shirt on today, so we got that.
Good. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Brewtiful Mornings. Thank you for our special guests for being here. Of course, we've got all of our fire gear on. They've got their fire gear on. We were talking with Ethan, who's got all of his fire gear on, and it's just not fair for a firefighter to be cooped up in a conference room, right, Ethan?
No, it's not.
But Wendy Birch, our division chief over fire safety and kind of code prevention, is with us this morning. She's got some special guests. I'm gonna let her introduce those and talk to us why we're actually here this morning. You've got some special documents you want to share, right, Wendy?
Yes, sir, I do. First of all, I have Captain Stephen McDaniel with us this morning and firefighter Ethan Fleming. They're on shift today, so we are excited to be with y'all this morning. And this is our favorite month of the year. Not only do we get to support breast cancer awareness with wearing pink all month, we also have fire prevention going on this month. So the mayor signed a proclamation Wednesday at the town council meeting proclaiming October 9th through the 15th, which is next week, as Fire Prevention Week. That we do fire prevention all month here in Rutherfordton. There is a week set aside for Fire Prevention Week, but all month long we are out in the schools and our daycares doing station tours. So we're really excited about this month. This is our 100-year fire prevention of celebrating Fire Prevention Week through the national.
You guys look good for being 100.
Yeah. So
now we were talking about that before we went on. So you guys weren't here for the first year, right?
No. I mean,
but one of our recently retired members, retired Assistant Chief Tim Loveless, he was here for one of the first years, right?
Yes, he would have been here for the first year. Yes,
that's right,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So the NFPA, National Fire Prevention Association, is celebrating 100 years of Fire Prevention Week. So Fire Prevention Week was first issued by President Woodrow Wilson in 1920. So it goes way back. The first Fire Prevention Week was October the 4th through the 10th in 1925. So Fire Prevention Week did come about because of the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. What they were seeing was a lot of fire fatalities and injuries. So they declared Fire Prevention Week so that we could bring out a emphasis on fire safety tips to children and adults. We do try to include our adults in our fire prevention safety tips. So that's how Fire Prevention Week came about. The Great Chicago Fire is also another reason that Fire Prevention Week is emphasized. So there's a lot of history of why we do and why we have fire prevention. And this year's theme is Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape. So what we've emphasized to our schools this week, we were in 2 schools first of the week for fire prevention, is knowing 2 ways out. So it's always important to know 2 ways out of every room. So that's the theme for this year. So we're really excited to bring that to everybody.
So can somebody explain to me why my 3rd grader came home on Monday and was practicing going backwards down the stairs as fast as she could? Somebody want to, I mean, I have a feeling that Captain McDaniel had something to do with that.
Yeah, so we pull the fire safety house to the schools. This is the first year since the pandemic that we have been able to pull the fire safety house to the schools. So it's been a couple of years since we've been out there with that. So it was very exciting to have that back. So we teach our kids, there are stairs in the fire safety home. We teach our kids to go down the stairs backwards. And that sounds silly to them. It sounds silly to us as adults. But if you do that, it does help you keep your balance. She was supposed to practice going down slowly, but I'm glad she was excited.
I'm not saying that she didn't practice a little bit going down slowly, but when I walked onto the scene, she was going pretty quick. So she had got her confidence level up on the stairs. Yeah. And so I just smiled because I knew that Captain McDaniel had something to do with that. I just knew deep down that he had told her to do that. But it is good. So you guys do that at Rutherfordton Elementary and at Trinity School for K through 3rd graders, right?
That's correct. Pre-K through 3rd. Yes, we do.
Pre-K. Get them all in there.
Yeah.
And Captain McDaniel, talk to us a little bit about the fire safety house. What exactly is that? How does that work for the youth? I know that that's something that you've done for quite a number of years and helped out with that. Tell us a little bit about, for people that have never seen the fire safety house, kind of what that means and how you guys use that.
So it's kind of set up like a little mini home and allows the kids to go upstairs, and we kind of start upstairs and just kind of do a review, and allows them to kind of get an idea of how to escape. And we actually fill up the house with some play smoke, smells like cotton candy or bubble gum, and they always enjoy that. And they practice, crawling out of the house, and they have a meeting place to go to, and we teach them to go home and practice doing the same thing, crawling out of their house, finding a safe place outside to meet, and make sure everybody gets out. And if somebody that wasn't to get out, that they just call 911 and let somebody know that, hey, my mom and dad or my family member or my pets did not get out. And so that way they can relay that information to us so we can get them out safely.
Yeah. So Wendy, you were talking a little about, each year for Fire Safety Month during the month of October, there's kind of a theme. There's some years we talk about fire extinguishers. Sometimes we talk about smoke alarms. This year, we're talking about your fire safety plan and just your kind of home safety plan. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and some resources maybe for people that are watching that are, maybe they saw it come home in their 3rd graders folder or their 2nd graders folder and they wasn't really sure what to do with it?
Yes. So the fire safety escape is a plan for your home. So if your 3rd graders or your children came home this week and talked about knowing 2 ways out, it's you draw a diagram of your home. So you would show them how to, I don't know if anybody can see this, but you would show them how to get from the living room to the front door or from their bedroom to the back door. You would just draw a diagram of your house of ways to get out. And it's always good to know 2 ways out, because we also teach them, to feel the back of the door with their hand. And if that door's hot, they know that fire's on the other side. So they're going to have to find a window or another door.
Well, and that, the thing I think for me, when we talk about the theme for this month and we talk about the plan, I think about the training that you guys go through to be firefighters. And a lot of times when you get in the heat of the moment, when things aren't doing what they normally do, we rely on that training. The training kicks in, the muscle memory, the things that we go through for training kind of kicks in and takes over. I wanted to ask Ethan, since he's in his fire gear, what do you see as the value of that plan? I think when I think about all this, I think about the kids, to have some of that training. What we see on the fire ground, sometimes they don't have that training. Can you kind of talk through what, in your experience, what you've seen on the fire ground when kids have gone through this training and maybe when they haven't?
Yeah, it's a really good thing for them to learn and to be able to see the difference in the different houses and stuff that I've been in. A good thing is you can train them to get out and to close the door behind them is a real good thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of pictures out there you can look up and see from different houses and homes of the kids' bedrooms, and it's a real good thing to at night to shut your door when you go to bed. That's one of the biggest things because it stops the fire spread to the house. And that was like Wendy was saying, when you feel the door, when they get up in the middle of the night and feel the door, it can be hot on the other side, and it'll save a life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's critical. There's a lot of new research, like you're saying, about kind of containing that fire. So, definitely before you go to bed, closing your bedroom door, closing your kids' bedrooms doors.
Mm-hmm.
Legally a bedroom should have a window. So a legal bedroom, a legally permitted bedroom needs to have a window, which is a means of egress too. So part of that plan is, letting kids know that they can open their blinds or, wave out the window, or, we can come to that window with a ladder if it's on a second floor. But what you were saying, as far as if you leave a room, you can go ahead and shut that door, and it's amazing how it stops the fire spread.
Yes.
Yeah. And it may not stop it forever, but that 30 seconds or that minute or that 3 minutes of time in that emergency is a lifeline for some folks.
And you were asking about where parents could go to find some of these educational materials. The National Fire Prevention Association, NFPA, has some great resources on there. Sparky.org also has some great fun activities for kids and some educational materials. And we have lots of stuff here at the station if y'all want to stop by and get some handouts. We also have some Halloween safety tips that we're handing out this month. So we have some material here also. If you want to stop by, we can get you some cool, fun stuff from the station also.
So speaking of Halloween, Wendy, tell us about what the fire department does during the Halloween season.
So during the Halloween season, we participate in Trick or Treat on Main, which is going to be on the 31st from 4 to 6. We have, in the years that I've been here, always handed out little drinking cups, little plastic cups, and they are so very popular that we cannot get away from them. Everybody loves our cups. They beg for them every year, so I dare not order those because everybody looks for those. They want those. So we have our cups again this year. They'll have some candy and some cool fire prevention tips in them. We always try to include something fire safety when we give out something. So we'll have, like I said, we've been handing out Halloween safety tips this month. So there's some things for that if you want to come by before you get your costumes, kind of see how you can be safe this Halloween. But yes, we'll be on Main Street on Halloween evening with our cups and candy. So come by and see us. I believe we're walking this year, right? No drive-through. So that's
right.
exciting also. Yes, it's
Back to
going to be
walking.
something to be whatever normal is, it's going to be great to try to get back to some of that.
So I also wanted to talk a little bit about the ability for people to be a part of the fire department. When I think about all of our other departments at the town and kind of getting involved with the town, there's a lot of volunteer activities. There's citizen boards and committees that people can be a part of. There's volunteer opportunities at the library. But when we really talk about ways that people can get fully involved in their community and give back through their service, I always think about the fire department. There's always opportunities for people to be involved there. All of us on this call this morning, or this show this morning, are firefighters. Some of us are volunteers. Some of us are full-time staff. But Stephen, I wanted to kind of start with you and just ask you your opinion on, or kind of your experience. How did you get involved with fire service, and why do you think it's important for people to kind of volunteer or be exposed to fire service? What are some of the draws that you experienced as a part of your journey?
The volunteer service, I mean, it's great. That's where I started. I volunteer still with Cherry Mountain Fire Department. and decided to make that career path, and was able to be here with the town. It's important. We rely on our volunteers, and sadly, in this day of age, volunteers is kind of deteriorating, and it's going towards more paid. And we need volunteers. It's with the financial side of it and everything, it's hard to keep a department going sometimes if you do not have the personnel to run it. So I encourage, there's always a job for a volunteer. I mean, it's a lot of time and dedication to get your training in, and time away from your family to serve the public in the community. Really encourage anything. We really have junior programs that start early. I started when I was 16. There's a lot of things that you can do on the fire ground and around the fire department to help serve the community. It's a great feeling.
And Wendy, you guys this year did something for the first time ever, really, in the history of Rutherfordton Fire Department. I hope it's something that we can continue at least on an annual basis or a biannual basis. But talk to people, definitely at 16 they can get involved with our youth from our junior program. But this year you guys did something a little different. I know it's going to be about a year away before people can get involved again, but can you kind of talk through that new program that you guys did and how impactful that was?
Yeah, so this year we did a Camp Spark. Our assistant chief, Robbie Samuel, was really heavily involved in getting that set up. We were all involved in the success of it, but he got that set up for our 14 and 15-year-olds. It was called Camp Spark, and they spent a week here with us at the station. We got them involved in different aspects of the emergency services. They learned and were certified in CPR. And also the new Stop the Bleed program. They learned how to use tourniquets and stop any excessive bleeding control. They got to see the new Bearcat from the Sheriff's Department. EMS came by. They got to learn all about how the EMS system works. And then we did fire stuff with them. They got to do extrication, cut up a car, spray the hose, spray the water. It was really, really fun for us as staff to be involved with those kids. They are staying involved with us. They helped us with Movie in the Park back in September. They will be present for our Hilltop Festival on the 22nd. And they're staying involved in different things that we are doing and continue to do. The hope there is to get these young kids excited about the fire service so that maybe when they grow up, they'll want to be part of us as either a volunteer or career, because as Stephen said, it's hard to find anybody that's ready to just step into this career. It's much different than it used to be in years past. We used to have people knocking on the door waiting in line, and it's not like that anymore. So the hope is to get these young kids excited about the fire service. We had a great time. We had six campers. They were great kids. We enjoyed getting to know them. They're kind of our family now, so we're excited as they continue to be involved. So it was a really good time. We will be doing that again next year. So I know that seems like a long way away, but it's surely not, especially in the planning. So yeah, keep an eye out for the next year's dates and information on that.
Ethan, I know fire service for you is kind of a family affair. So anything you want to add from your experience or kind of your work in the fire department and, what it means for you?
Mm-hmm. To me, it's a brotherhood. It's a family. We're all very close and everything. And I started when I was 15, and I still volunteer at the volunteer department that I started at Shingahala. And it was just, to me, it was a family thing. I had a lot of family involved in it, and I looked up to them. And my uncle when he started, he was young, and it was just something I always wanted to follow in his footsteps and do. And then my brother started, so it was just, and it was a way to me to give back to my community and help my community out. And I just really enjoy it. And so it made me want to go into the full-time career side of it. And I just I love it and encourage anybody that wants to do it. It's there's nothing else like it out there. I'll tell you that. There's nothing else like it out there, being a fireman and being able to help people and help your community and everything.
Magnolia, you've been pretty quiet this morning, but I know that you have a lot to add when it comes to volunteerism and it comes to fire service. Anything you want to add from your experience? I know you and I get to speak from the volunteer side and, be able to take off our hats of, working in town administration sometimes and be a volunteer with the fire department. So anything that you've been thinking about or want to add this morning?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I haven't been able to be as involved as I want to be just because I started grad school back in September. So that's kept me super busy. But the one thing that I love about the fire service in general is that there is a job for everyone. So I know that probably some of the viewers know that I have like a lot of health issues. And so whenever you mix that with the fire service, you're like, what is she doing? But there's literally always a job for anybody on the fire ground, whether it's just going back and getting equipment from the truck, running into the burning building, or just handing out water, because I think that is a huge help on the fire scene. So I think that's like the biggest thing that I want to emphasize is that there is always a job for literally anyone on the fire scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking about it last night. We've got a great group of volunteers, and life, life happens, but like Captain McDaniel said, our full-time staff rely on our volunteers. We do have staffing at our fire department all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Somebody's always there to answer the call. But at the same time, our volunteers are the ones that assist in that. When times get tough, when calls get overwhelming, when we have times of natural disaster, major storms, the reason that we're able to continue to respond to calls with a limited staff is that our volunteers kick in. Their pager goes off and they make their way safely to the station and respond, to calls. And, I've never been in this situation like Captain McDaniel or Ethan, where, you guys are the first on the scene, but I can only imagine that, in that 3 or 4 minutes later, when somebody else arrives, it's kind of a little breath of fresh air to give you a little more energy to keep going, knowing that you've got more help there. So I would just echo what Magnolia is saying. I think for me, the most rewarding part is just serving the community. Ethan had a lot of good comments about just the passion and service. If it's something that you'd like to get involved with, please come see us. Like Wendy said, come by, do a station tour, maybe do a ride along, come hang out with us, hang out with whoever's working that day, talk to Assistant Chief Samuel or Chief Harrell. But there is a role for everybody. Our volunteers are diverse. We have 18, I guess 16-year-olds all the way up to 60-year-olds on our roster and even older. And each one of them brings different talents, different abilities to the fire ground and to the firehouse. And I think that's what makes us a strong team, is that we are so diverse. But when the tones go off, we're all able to work together. Mm-hmm. So Wendy, you had said that Chief Harrell was not going to join us on the show this morning.
No, he is not. He delegated.
Yeah. So, all right. So we talked about the Fire Safety Month. You guys, have you guys completed your Fire Safety Month kind of outreach, or are there more schools to come?
There are more. There are more. We have TLC scheduled, and we have St. Francis Day School scheduled. That is on Monday. And then throughout the month, we will get a few calls for station tours. So right now scheduled, we have St. Francis and TLC. We have TLC for a couple of days. So it's always exciting to see those, the itty bitties, as we call them. They're so young, but they are so excited when the fire truck comes. So yeah. But we also have tips for adults. So we don't leave out our adults. We have lots of tips for them too. So.
And you got stickers. You got stickers for the adults, and you got all kinds of merch for sale there too. You got shirts, patches, challenge coins. There's all kinds of ways to get some fire department merch that you guys may have over there for sale. Swing by, see them for that. It's been fun to see the station reopen and people come by. I was over for a meeting with the chief last week, and you guys had a station tour coming in. It was just good to see that again. Mm-hmm. Good to see people interacting with you guys. I know you probably enjoy that, be able to have them come by. I also know that our station is under construction right now. You guys are in the process of, really crafting a new station. We've been there for a little over 20 something years, and it's time for a new coat of paint and some new things. And I want to ask each of you, there's been a lot of changes going on in both Station 1, the future of Station 2. We've got apparatus on the way, apparatus planning. Simple question, what are you most excited for in the next year with Rutherfordton Fire Department? And it could be as simple as, I know it all goes down to bathroom jokes when you're at the fire department, so I'll go first. I'm excited about the comfort height toilets in the new bathrooms. So Captain McDaniel, take it away. What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited to just get my room back.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't like sleeping in the dorm room?
Back.
You don't want to get up and go feed the chickens?
No, not that early.
I'm
Yeah,
loving
so-
the fresh new paint. I
Yeah.
love the new paint colors.
Isn't
That's
it
gonna
cool?
be- It's the simple things in life.
Yeah. Mine would have to be the paint and the new floors.
Yes.
Get rid of this old carpet.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys are kind of living through the construction too, so it's still an active fire station. We've got construction going on. Our contractors have been really great to make sure that they're not in the way of emergency response. But we are doing a total refresh, kind of renovation, if you will, refresh of Station 1. You heard a couple weeks ago about the kickoff for Station 2. We've got a new fire truck in process right now that'll be going out to Station 2, and then in our life cycle of apparatus planning, you guys are getting ready to start kicking off a design for a replacement of our, what we call 2611, which is our, gosh, what you guys probably know better than me, early 2000s model Pierce engine. So you're replacing that in the life cycle of service. So a lot of exciting things going on with Rutherfordton Fire and Rescue.
Oh yeah.
Do we have a mascot at the station? Well, I mean, we got Abe.
Hey.
Or
We got
Pete.
Honest Abe.
Tim's our mascot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, the legacy of Assistant Chief Lovelace lives on at Rutherfordton
Yes.
Fire and Rescue.
Absolutely.
You know, I not to get too deep in the weeds here, but I know before Station 1 kind of went into the construction, there was a memorial for some retired firefighters. Captain McDaniel, one of your captains previously, was memorialized there at the station on the wall, and it was a memorial set up for Assistant Chief Lovelace. Do you guys think that those will return after the renovations?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
There'll be a dedicated wall for that.
A dedication of a wall. Yeah, that's exciting. It's exciting. So yeah, swing by. If it's been a while since you've been by the fire department, again, they are under construction, so it may look a little different on the inside. But we're also going to be ready to celebrate a kind of a grand reopening here in a few short months, and we'll definitely have a fun time for the community to come out and see the changes and see what's going on at Station 1. And then same thing with Station 2. I saw a comment come in about the excitement of Station 2. And I can imagine for those that live in our rural district, because the Rutherfordton Fire and Rescue Department doesn't just respond to calls inside the town of Rutherfordton. Captain McDaniel, do you want to kind of just briefly talk about all of the areas that we do cover? It's a fairly large service area, but can you briefly just kind of hit on some of the areas that Rutherfordton Fire and Rescue does cover outside the city limits of Rutherfordton?
Yeah, so we cover towards 108 all the way to the Polk County line. We cover Maple Creek, or out Maple Creek towards Green Hills, Highway 64, 74, 221 North towards Union Mills, past towards the high school. We even have, we mutual aid with the surrounding departments in those areas as well, at automatic aid with Spindale. So we have a pretty good response district.
Yeah, and that Station 2 is really going to bring some relief to the homeowners out in our rural area. That station is going to be constructed on Baber Road, 1701 Baber Road, which is directly next to the Broad River Water Authority's water treatment plant. So if you're familiar with where the entrance to their treatment plant is on Baber, we'll be just to the right of that, or just uphill back towards Union, across from the Deerfield Trailer Park. Is that correct?
Yes.
Deerfield Express.
Deerview.
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 Yeah. See, I was on a panel yesterday talking about Creek Wood Meadows, which is our workforce housing project in partnership with Dogwood, and I kept calling it Creekside Meadows. It just sounded better. It just sounded better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate everything that y'all do each and every day, and excited about Fire Prevention Month. I know, like you guys said, this is kind of the pinnacle, the highlight of the year. The time that you guys really get to get an opportunity to showcase what you do and showcase for the community. So anything else you guys want to add kind of in closing before we wrap it up?
Well, we don't feel like we can really close out unless we leave you with a fire safety lesson. So Captain McDaniel is going to talk to you just briefly about chimney fire safety. The weather's getting cooler, so we may all be thinking about warmer fires and what we can do. So he was going to talk just a little bit about some safety on that. So just a few minutes.
Yeah. So as the weather's getting cooler, there's going to be more and more homes that are going to be burning wood this year. And so we kind of want to provide some safety tips when you do burn wood. The causes of chimney fires is because of a material called creosote. And it's actually the black and brown residue that's inside your chimney. It's kind of sticky, tarry. Every time you burn or whatever, as the smoke rises through your chimney's not hot enough, it actually changes into condensation, and that's what actually sticks to the liner on the inside of your chimney. And every time you burn and like that, it builds up over time, and it needs to be clean. So we encourage you to get a chimney sweeper to come out to your home and inspect your chimney, and they'll actually clean it. They'll check it for cracks, if there's anything wrong with your chimney, to get it fixed and ready to go for this season. Please burn dry seasoned wood. That'll definitely help with the decrease on that creosote.
So I want to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I know you got some notes, but you said something that I overreacted on a little bit, but it's so true. Burn seasoned dry firewood.
Yeah.
Folks, I cannot tell you, I'm just a volunteer. I don't respond to all the calls that Rutherfordton Fire and Rescue goes to. My schedule is busy. I don't get to be there at every call. But I can tell you the chimney fires that I've been to, 9 times out of 10, there is at least 1, if not 7, of those fake logs that you get at the store shoved into the fireplace. Captain McDaniel just said that what the problem is that creosote, that buildup of the chemical. So that occurs in natural wood, but when you add this fake wood in there that burns hotter, burns dirtier, you are just really inviting yourself to be honest with you folks here this morning, burn your house down.
Yeah.
And so be very, very careful with those fake Duralogs. 1 is sufficient. That's what they're meant for. 1. Do not put 7 in your wood stove.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up this morning.
Nope. True story.
Yep.
True story.
Yep. So make sure you use that dry seasoned wood. Make sure your chimney gets adequate air. Make sure you keep the damper fully open when you do burn. That allows the wood to burn at hotter temperatures and allows it to burn off all that smoke. And that way you don't have the opportunity to create that creosote. Have a chimney cap installed. If you don't have one, please, that'll definitely help out with debris getting inside your chimney, especially during off season. Birds make their nests in there, squirrels can get in there. Just have a chimney cap installed. So if you was to have a chimney fire, the signs of it, you would hear loud popping noises or a low rumbling sound. That's typically signs of there's a fire burning inside your chimney. Black smoke coming from your chimney or even sparks flying from your chimney. It's a good indicator that your chimney is on fire, or you may have flames coming out of your chimney. But you may have a chimney fire and you may not know it. So that's why it's important to really have a chimney sweeper come out and inspect your chimney every year, once a year at least. If you do have a chimney fire, please get out and stay out. Call 911. If it's safe to do so, close the doors on the fireplace if you have, or close the doors to your home. That'll definitely help with restricting airflow to your chimney. And it could spread to your home. So we really encourage that. Please get out, call 911, go to a safe place, your meeting place, and then call a chimney sweeper for damage to see, because if you have a fire, more than likely you may have some damage to your chimney. And also to go along with that is we want you to have a carbon monoxide detector in your home if you do burn, whether it is wood or propane. If you have gas logs, Ethan's going to talk a little bit more about the carbon monoxide detectors, but please listen to what he has to say and get one, please.
So if you have gas appliances in your house, if it's gas logs, stove, anything like that, hot water heater, it's a good idea to have a carbon monoxide detector. You can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware store, something like that, and buy them. And they come where you can just plug them into your wall to an outlet, and or a battery backup too. So when you lose power, they're still, and it's a good thing to have, because carbon monoxide, when you realize something's wrong with you, it's done too late. So it's a real good thing to go and have one, and you can anywhere throughout your house, you plug them in as long as they're 5 to 6 foot away from your gas logs or your appliance that's burning gas, and it's a real good thing. It truly saves lives.
Those are fantastic tips. Definitely couldn't be more appropriate with chimney fires and chimney safety. And as we get into the heating season now, with making sure you have those detectors. So definitely, this is not a month where we, preach changing the batteries. That isn't the theme this year. It's fire safety. But what we do has always done is, in the time change, which is coming up in just a few short weeks, when you roll those clocks back, I know not everybody has the old school clocks anymore where you actually have to roll them back. We don't have to do that anymore. We're spoiled with iPhones and digital technology. But, for years, the fire service preached, when you roll, check your clocks and check your batteries. And so definitely, as we get into the heating season, as the temperature starts to change, please take the time to change your batteries in your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors, and give them a look. These things are not permanent. When you look at that detector there, Wendy, help us out. They all have a date stamp. What kind of time frame should we be looking at for smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors?
So it is suggested to change your smoke detectors every 10 years and your carbon monoxide every 5 years. So now we do have a smoke detector program here at the station. If you live in our district, we can provide you with smoke detectors for free. If we are available and you need assistance putting them up, as long as you're in our fire district, we can try to do that also. But the smoke detectors that we give out have a 10-year battery. So that means, as Doug just said, you shouldn't have to change your battery, but we do want you to test them once a month. Though, even though it's a 10-year battery, it may not last 10 years. So that's a good
thing. Think about the technology. You're investing in something to protect your life. And the technology 10 years ago for those detectors is much different than the technology now. And you might be a little annoyed when you burnt the pizza or, forgot about something on the stovetop. But the sensitivity now is so much greater. And, that 20 seconds or 30 seconds of time that detector is giving you because of the new technology could mean the difference between life and death, or burns or no burns, or I hate to be real, but simply getting out of the house or not getting out of the house. And so definitely invest in those things. Like Wendy said, if you're in our district, stop by, see them. They can help you. Those are for homeowners, to have those. And then you guys also have, to kind of help us out, something we've been pushing for quite a number of years now, and it's exciting for me as I drive around our district, is our sign program. So Ethan, you want to talk about our sign program and how people can get involved with our blue signs?
Yeah, so we have your address sign program. So if anybody that wants a address sign put at their mailbox or in their driveway, they're reflective too, and it really helps us responding to a call, because especially at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up to go to a call, we might not can see the little little tiny address signs you've got on the side of your mailbox, and the blue sign that we have, it really helps us out a lot to get there quicker. And if you come by and tell us what your address is, and we'll be more than happy to make you a sign up. And we have like little T-post that goes with them too. So if you don't have nowhere to hang them, like if you don't hang them on your mailbox and you just want to stick them up at the end of your driveway, we have those available too. So it's a real good thing. And like I said, it really helps us out a lot to know what address we're going to.
And for people that live inside the city limits of Rutherfordton and inside our fire district, those are how much, Wendy?
Those are free. Free.
Did you just say free?
Free. Now,
Great.
if you're outside of our district or city limits, they are $15. We have had several people come by and purchase one, but if you're inside the city limits or the Rutherfordton Fire District, those are free.
And if you're watching from another area, maybe you're watching from outside of Rutherfordton, check with your local fire department.
Yes.
Check with them. We do have other fire departments in our county and in our region that offer a sign program very similar to that. If they don't offer it, I'm sure they can give you a resource to where you can get that. Yeah. If you're watching from outside the area, check with your local fire department about volunteering or station tours, and get everybody kind of involved in fire service. So I cannot thank you guys enough for your time and dedication and being on this morning. We kidded a couple weeks ago when we knew that fire prevention was coming for October, that we really wanted to have C-Shift involved with Fire Prevention Month. And I say that because I say it in a very meaningful way too. So I wanted to say thank you to both Captain McDaniel and firefighter Ethan Fleming. I know a lot of our team gets involved with the fire safety house and fire prevention, but I've kind of seen that passion in you guys over the last few years. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for really making it fun and engaging for our youth. Just being able to know that even when my daughter came home, she was doing what you told her to. That means that I know she kids around and jokes with you guys just like I do. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but to see what you guys taught, in the fire safety house, and she was actually doing what you said. My hope is that other youth in our community were doing the same thing on Monday night and Tuesday night across our region. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we will, unless you guys have anything else, we will let you go. Magnolia and I have a couple other announcements, but definitely stop by the station. Check them out on Main Street for Trick or Treat on Main. And then swing by, make sure you're getting your fire address signs, and then if you need fire prevention materials, you guys actually had some cool hats and glasses and stuff too, right?
Yes, we do. We've got some new stuff this year. We always have our fire hats. We have sunglasses that are new this year. We have keychains that are new this year. Lollipops.
So swinging by the firehouse is the place to be, right?
Yes,
That's what you're trying to say.
We've got a few hot and cold packs left. So we always have cool stuff. Cool coloring books that's got the fire prevention theme on them. So
and cool people, right?
Yes, and cool people.
Yep.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Have a safe day, and thank you for everything you do.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Yep. It's always fun having them on. It's always fun. Always fun. So I know Mayor Dancy couldn't stick around, but we did have a town council meeting earlier this week. And so just to kind of recap there, pretty productive meeting, a lot on the agenda. We went through some budget amendments. We went through an authorization for our planning board to continue as our Historic Preservation Commission for another year. And we went through rezoning. We had two properties out on Railroad Avenue, 509 Railroad Avenue, which was a former NC tractor facility. It was zoned as a kind of a vehicle service facility. Council moved that zoning from vehicle service to a commercial district, and they are looking at some opportunities to redevelop that site. So exciting news there. And then we spent a good amount of time talking about vehicle charging stations for electric vehicles. The town had been awarded an opportunity for some level 2 vehicle chargers. And as we kind of talked through the change of technology and the use of that and how infrastructure is so important and to kind of stay ahead of the curve, we chose not to move forward with some level 2 chargers and seek opportunities for level 3 chargers here in the town of Rutherfordton. So really exciting about that. More to come on charging stations here in the town, but excited to see how town council kind of thought through that process and about being ahead of the curve when it comes to technology use for charging stations. The other exciting stuff is kind of all around festivals. So we're just a few short weeks away from Hilltop Fall Festival. We are a few short weeks away from the final Fab, and our Fab committee, not our Fab committee, the Rutherfordton Fab committee was here in kind of full force at our council meeting and spoke to the council about some ideas that they have to improve Fab and to bring new life or to, I guess, continue to add life and arts into our downtown area. And so really excited about their work that they're doing. It's great to see a true grassroots effort of local business owners, local artists, artisans, and musicians working together in unison with the same common core to kind of improve the quality of events and businesses in our downtown area. So cannot say enough about what they're doing. Anything else, Magnolia?
I just wanted to mention the Norris Public Library survey again, because that is still going on. I'm pretty sure that we're in like the last couple of days of it. So the sooner that you can fill it out, the better. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the comments. So definitely take it after Brewtiful Mornings is finished this morning. But they're really working to create a plan about the next 5 years for the Norris Public Library. So they're really looking for some community input to kind of implement your ideas in the future of the library. So it's definitely a great opportunity. And I know that Sarah and Reagan and Cindy and the team over at the library would be thrilled to have you fill it out.
Yeah. So I do want to address a couple of questions that came in. First question was, will Station 2 be paid and volunteer? Yes, it will be a combination of both of those. Station 1 is the same way. Station 1 minimum staffing is 2 people. And so we have 2 people at Station 1 at all times. Usually it's more than that. That's minimum staffing. Usually it's more than 2, but our volunteers, they pull what we call a duty shift or time at the department as well. And so there could be times when there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folks at Station 1. Station 2 is the same way. It's designed as a full-time station, so it will have sleeping quarters and just a smaller condensed version of Station 1. And our goal is to have a minimum staffing of 1 there. So there's at least 1 person there when we get it open. But we would love to have some volunteers. So if there's volunteers in that rural area that live in the Baber Road, Union Road, Cox Road, Maple Creek area, reach out to us. If that's something you're thinking about, we would love to have you volunteer and be closer to that station. Second question came in is, what's the difference between charging stations? And we spent a good half an hour or so at our town council meeting working through that. In a Cliff Notes version, right now you have a level 2 charger and a level 3 charger. The level 2 charger can charge a vehicle in 6 to 8 hours. So it's really right now the technology that a lot of manufacturers are using for that overnight charger in your home. So as you charge your vehicle up overnight, it's going to be a 6 to 8 hour charge. That's a level 2 charger. Currently there's a level 2 charger in downtown Spindale, and it's going to give you somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to maybe 25 miles of charge in 1 hour, right? The level 3 chargers will charge your vehicle in the 15 to 25 minute range. So from, almost zero battery to about 80% battery, 200 mile, 250 mile range in that 15 to 20 minute window. And so what you're seeing from an infrastructure standpoint is a lot of communities have level 2 chargers everywhere. But you could imagine if you are a driver of an electric vehicle, the simplicity of that faster charge, that level 3 charge, is what you're looking for if you're out and about. If you really think about it, if you're on a road trip, and I think about it, I've got 3 kids, are on a road trip and we stop for fuel. We go inside, you need to go to the restroom. You got kids, so they're going to go down the candy aisle and beg for 10 minutes buy me this, daddy. So that whole stop, is in that 10 to 15 minute range on average. At least it is for me. You guys might be really much faster on that by the time you pump your fuel and everything. And that's what the level 3 charger is designed to compete with, is that fueling station experience on a longer trip, right? And so we're looking at opportunities to see how we can maybe bring one of those to the town of Rutherfordton.
That's incredible. In 15 to 25 minutes, you charge.
It's crazy where the technology has gone. Now, the issue with that is making sure that you have the power draw, right? And so, what you're seeing is a lot of those level 3 chargers are housed around, big gas stations and interstate stops and that kind of thing. I've heard, I cannot confirm, this is a rumor from a county away, that they're looking at doing some level 3 chargers in McDowell County. I think there's like a Love's truck stop. I had heard that maybe they were coming there. Can't prove that, so don't hold me to that. But I had heard that through the grapevine of things. But yeah, we're excited about maybe looking at some level 3 chargers here at the town. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. And next week is going to be it's going to be a fun week. And so back in 2019, 3 years ago, we heard from the community, and for the first time, housing became one of our top priorities. And since that time, we've worked hard to ensure that we can bring results in the housing arena. And next Thursday, we get to celebrate with our partners at Dogwood Health Trust, Gateway Wellness Foundation, Broad River Water Authority, Housing Assistance out of Henderson County, Early Head Start, and multiple others about the Creekwood Meadows subdivision over on John Smith Road. We finally have some homes going in there. It's going to be an emotional day because the vision was to ensure that we had an opportunity to provide quality and safe, affordable housing to our community, to the people living here in conditions that did not allow them to move into home ownership or provide safe rental opportunities. Magnolia can work you through the details of the data, but when there's 7 homes for sale, all of them over $255,000, and no vacancy in all of our rental units across the board, subsidized and unsubsidized, waiting lists of over 200 people. Housing is a critical issue here. What we're going to get to hear next week is that there's a teacher at RS Central High School that has been living in a basement of a family member's home and just cannot move out into the housing market, cannot afford a $300,000 home, and cannot find suitable rental properties because the inventory is gone. There's no available inventory. And so that teacher is going to speak about his journey and his family's journey to home ownership and be the first homeowner inside Creekwood Meadows subdivision. And so what we're providing is homes for people in Rutherfordton and Rutherford County, and it's moving. And I want to say thank you to our town council for their leadership and guidance in this. They've got a lot of bruises along the way, but they're really impacting the quality of people's lives and building community through home ownership. So just wanted to say we're excited about next week.
That's incredible. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you to our fire department for being a part of today's Brewtiful Mornings. What a fantastic opportunity. I know we're biased a little bit, Magnolia, as firefighters. We kid a lot between police and fire and public works and library, but we're all in this together. One town, one team. This is Fire Prevention Month. But we're all in this together. And so if it's something you're looking forward to doing, if it's something that's maybe been touching your heart to reach out and volunteer for the fire department, reach out to myself, Magnolia, the fire department. All of us can talk to you about our experience individually, but we'd love to have you think about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything either. Oh, I told her I would say it on here. So, if you haven't heard the latest local scoop, want to say congratulations to Scoop of Rutherfordton, Amy Brevard and Chris. They are going to be moving the Rutherfordton Scoop location. So when they're still in operation, so you still get time to get your scoop in now. But over the winter, they typically close for the winter and reopen in the spring. So over the winter, Scoop is going to be moving from their location now out on Chimney Rock Road down into the heart of Rutherfordton on Charlotte Road. Many of you maybe know what we passionately call the old seafood building. You've seen a lot of activity going on there across from Truist Bank, across from Gregory's. There's been a transition in that property, new ownership there. And so the new owner and Scoops have worked out an opportunity to move them into that seafood building for more indoor space. There's some new outdoor space. So it's exciting. I know that brings another ice cream shop closer to downtown, but strength in numbers. And when we've seen our restaurants grow, thrive, and prosper, when we've seen more restaurants open up in a closer environment. So we cannot be more excited to see them grow and see them come closer to town, more walkable, be right there on the trail. The Greenway runs right back through there. We've got sidewalks up and down Charlotte. So excited for them and excited to see them continue to grow as a small business in our community. And there's more exciting news that I can't release yet, but I know some more details around this whole construction on Main Street. So stay tuned for some big announcements about the construction of new buildings and to see some new opportunities coming to Main Street. So things are really shaping up on Main Street, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see and announce those things as time allows.
I'm just really excited. I know that probably not many people understand this inside joke that we have here at Town Hall and with Wendy, but we would always make jokes about going to the post office, but we would always just go get ice cream. So I'm really excited that Scoops will be in town so we can alternate between Main Street Coffee and Ice Cream and Scoop.
I actually told Wendy, I was like, Wendy, on your lunch break, you could actually park your vehicle at the post office and walk to Scoops and nobody would be any wiser.
Exactly.
Anyways, thank you everybody for joining us. Thanks for sticking in with us as we reach the 1 hour mark. We're going to get off here and go do some important work for the town. Enjoy our Friday, and we will see you back next week. And we will have some exciting stuff to share next week. So thank you for being with us. Look forward to being back with you next week. We hope you have a great weekend. Get ready for all things Rutherfordton Hilltop Fall Festival in just a few short weeks. And we'll see you on Main Street.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet.